Since posting the first video, I've received a lot of feedback and learned a lot of new things about this car. Also had several things that I had completely missed. Also, I had received a lot of wonderful information from somebody named Fabian, who had worked specifically on this Jetta project. So I wanted to share those things now with everybody. Here's one that was pointed out. This is the armrest, and if you lift it up, there is actually some rubber stops here in the armrest to adjust the height, and I had no idea about this. So you can flip those up and then lower the armrest back down, and it gives you an extra inch on the armrest to lay your arm. The S line has the standard mirror with well, no features, and if it has no features, it does not have the rain sensor, right, or the garage door opener or what have you. If that is the case, this button up top here on the windshield wiper does function, but what it does is it works as small increment settings for the windshield wipers between the windshield wiper settings themselves, as opposed to the models with the rain sensor, where it will adjust the sensitivity of the rain sensor automatically based on where you have this set. A couple of other questions were answered. First off, my wife had asked if the shift light or shift indicator was changing based on if the car was going uphill or downhill or on a flat road. She felt that it was, regardless if the echo button was on or not. In fact, this is true. So if you're going uphill, it will ride out the gears longer. There are some other factors involved as well, noting only that this is in fact the case. So one that had perplexed me was this electric brake that stops the car from rolling backwards when we're taking off on a hill. And I didn't know why this had existed on this car. Come to find out, and Fabian had explained this as well, that carryover from the automatic transmission, which further left me confused. Couple of things. Number one, if you have adaptive cruise control, this functionality is there to actually slow down the car for that purpose. But specifically with regard to the stopping on a hill and not letting you roll back, on the automatic models, the engine shuts off at traffic lights and then automatically turns back on when you take your foot off the brake, what have you. That's a feature that not many people seem to like. This does not exist on the manual model, right? However, on the automatic model, when that does happen, if you're at a traffic light on a hill, even with an automatic, if the engine shut off, the car could roll back at least to a degree. I don't know how much, right? Because I don't have this feature. So basically what this does is, even on an automatic, it stops it from rolling down the hill, and it's a carryover, and it exists on the manual as well. I also got to point out that there is a mirror upgrade between this mirror and the full-on mirror, and that's a mirror very much like this, except it has garage door opener built in. And I went and researched it, and that mirror doesn't, it touts itself as not requiring any wiring, and it could be bolted on by a service team at VW, but it takes batteries, and I would be very weary of something like this, because anything that has a garage door opener built in that doesn't need the key in the car to actuate means that if somebody could break into your car and smash the window, they need to only press the button to gain access to your garage. That's a bad idea. You shouldn't have a garage door opener in your car that's readily accessible to anybody. Before I even start with this test, I want to point out that we went through many different iterations to find the most consistent way of measuring the performance of this air conditioning, and I have finally settled on what I believe to be the best method. It turns out, with the car not moving at all, simply too much variation introduced in the moving car, the car sitting there still, come to find that this method works. So I'm just going to point out what the criteria is. Currently outside we have 86 degrees Fahrenheit. I have 3 on the blower, pushing out the vents here. I have my digital thermometer. I have taken the thermostat dial here 2 clicks off of max AC. The reason why I have done that is just in case switching it to max AC brings it into some special high performance setting on the compressor. I wanted to rule out that possibility, so I've just 2 clicks off to ensure that that is ruled out. And what I have right now, the button for echo is engaged, right? We see that is on. And this has been sitting here for quite a while. it fluctuates between 44, we're seeing high 44, low 45. This thermometer is very sensitive to the 10th. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit the echo button and shut it off, and then I'm going to wait here for a couple of minutes and see what the change is. So let's do that now. Echo off. And here we go. We can see that after a couple of minutes of the air conditioner running, the temperature's actually gone up 45.6. Now, while this is inconsequential, right, with the echo off, it's not like it got colder. So my opinion is that the echo button has no bearing on the air conditioning on this car or this model whatsoever. This may not be true for a different trim with a different type of climate controls, but as far as this one goes, no change whatsoever. Case closed. We had received a gift with the car here. These are Haken Verkaufsstütze, and we decided that we were going to install them for our trip so that we could hang clothing that we didn't want to get wrinkled in the car. But there was a wrinkle in the installation, and I'll show you why. And this is what it looks like. It's minimalist and functional. Volkswagen emblazoned. And the thing is, in order to install this, it needs to go around the bars that hold the head restraint of the seat, which is rather simple. I admit that for the life of me, I could not figure out how to remove the rear seat head restraints, right? So I was using this button, you know, and it would come up and this would slide up on the seat like that, but you can't install them unless you remove the actual restraints themselves. And unlike the other seats that had the button right here, that the whole entire mechanism would come up, these seats do not have it. So I had to defer to my wife for guidance. Go get him, Steffi. Show us where the button is. It's hidden. It's hidden right, right here. Right there?
Go.
Watch this. There's this hidden button, and there it is. That's how you remove it. Right there, about that far down from the seat is where the hidden button is, in case you were wondering how these restraints come out. And that's how you have to remove them in order to add this device to the seat.
You actually feel a circle right here. You have to push in about ½ an inch.
How very strange is that? There's no way, unless you had the book. Like, nobody would ever figure that out. It's not intuitive. And you can see how it releases the bars. There's like an indentation in the bars that it releases those. We'll now install the unit.
Can you hold it?
Yep. And this will end the mystery. There it is. She's going to attempt it on her own. See if she can do it. Look at that. There you go. That's smarter.
Isn't there a saying?
Very cool. Easy. And many people have responded from the first video informing me that this is an artifact of days gone by, and none of these have the air conditioning vent here anymore. It would have been cool to see something like a cigarette lighter or a USB port back here, but I guess, you know, it is what it is. I want to touch on a couple things about the trunk that I missed in the last video quickly. While this is how you would find this for this model car, obviously you can upgrade this if you're not comfortable with it. There is no spare tire in this car, and they do have a donut available for this. So you could buy the donut, you could rip all this out and throw the donut in. I just want to go over some of the things that you will find in this kit if you do not opt for the donut and jack and what have you. First, there's the styrofoam, which I'll just take out of the way. There's plastic right here that ties this down to everything, right? And it's interesting because it's emblazoned with an Audi logo. I see a lot of that on VW stuff. It's not unbelievable, but it's just interesting. And this car came with 2 tow hooks, but there is at least room for 1 tow hook. So I kept the other one. This is the tire inflator sealing substance for flats, like a fix-a-flat that you can use on the side of the road. I guess instead of the spare tire, this would do the job, unless of course the tire was all shredded up. It would do you no good. But that's that. There's a all-in-one utility screwdriver, and that's really hard to take out, so I'll zoom in. There is an air compressor that connects to the cigarette lighter of the car to reinflate the tire. Over here we have, this is to remove the center caps of the hubcaps if you have the certain types of rims that require you to remove those center caps. It's also used to remove the full hubcap. You can see that right there. Also, I have here a safety traffic triangle. I don't recollect if this came with the car or if it was thrown in as an option. My wife tells me that it was actually thrown in. This was not standard with the car. The trunk lid here has a glow-in-the-dark open latch from the inside. In case you were to get locked in the trunk, you could just open it up just like that as a safety measure. I hope you found this video helpful and entertaining. Thanks for watching.